Very good morning, all the students of 6th standard. We are learning the 7th lesson of our history, that is India during the Maurya period. This lesson is going on 7th lesson of history, India during the Maurya period, page number 30 is there. The Greek Emperor Alexander's invasion, point number 7.1. The Greek Emperor Alexander's invasions. We know that Alexander, from the Greek, he invaded toward the India. We'll learn more about his invasions or his how he invaded toward the India. Alexander the Greek Emperor invaded India's northwest frontier in the 326 BC. Alexander, he was a Greek emperor, one who invaded India's northwest frontiers into the years 326 BCE. In this, he invaded, when he invaded that time, he crossed the Indus or the Sindhu rivers and reached to the Takshashila, one of the most important famous cities at the times for educational purpose. On the way, he met to the forceful opposition from the local Indian kings. When he was coming toward the India, that time he met with the local Indian kings. They gave strong resistance to the Alexander. Means strongly they opposed to the Alexander. He defeated them all and successfully reached the Punjab. So those who met him on the way, that to each and everyone successfully he defeated to them and strongly he opposed, or let me say defended them, and successfully by defeating them he reached up to the Punjab regions. However, in this activity or invasions, his army had to suffer severe hardship. That so when he successfully fight against the local Indian rulers in that attempt, his soldiers were suffered that. He was successful, he won, but his army also suffered too much that there was a great loss of his army. They were injured also. The soldiers were eager to go back home. That and now from here, the Alexander soldiers were not ready or they were not in the position they were not in the frame or in the mind that to go ahead there. They were tired. Now they wanted to go back, return to their to their home, to the Greeks. They rebelled against, but Alexander, he was not happy with this decision. He wanted to go again ahead. That he wanted to conquer more region of the area, but his soldiers, they rebelled against him. They opposed him. They rejected his order. They denied. They not kept his words or order that. They opposed him. They rebelled against Alexander, and he was forced to turn back. So unwillingly, Alexander had to turn back. If his soldiers were also his soldiers only were if his soldiers were not ready to move front, then how he can go alone there? So unwillingly he turned back. He was a king. He was an emperor, but continuously more than 3-4 years, his soldiers were away from their home. They were fighting. They were continuously the war going on one by one. They were capturing and they were going ahead only. So more than 3-4 years they were away from their home, and nobody now want to go ahead again more. They wanted to return their original home. They wanted to go back to their home. So they opposed. They rebelled to their king or the emperor Alexander. So unwillingly Alexander had to turn back. Otherwise, Alexander, he was not ready to turn back. He wanted to go again front and he wanted to capture more region. But there was no any options for him. So he turned back. He therefore appointed Greek officers to administer the conquered territories. So what is the newly conquered territory from the Indian region or the area? To look after that territory, to manage, to administrate that territory, he appointed Greek officers on it. What is the new territory he owned after the Punjab side? But to look after the territory, he appointed the Greek officers. They were called satraps. So those were appointed there. they were called as a satraps. Greek officers were called as a satraps. They here Alexander he appointed them to look after the newly conquered territory. We know that he came from the northwestern frontier and up to the Punjab region he owned, or he defeated the local ruler. So whatever the region is there from up to the Punjab, to look after that region or the area, he appointed some of the Greek officers as a ruler, as the king of that regions. They were began to call as the satraps. Here he started his returning journey but died on the way back in the 323 BC at Babylon. So he started his returning journey there. He returned from India. He started to return from India, but on the way back, when he was going toward the Greek, on the way back in the year 323 BC at Babylon died there. Today Babylon, it is in Iraq. Means he died into the Iraq. We know that, see, in 326 BCE he came to India, and after that he started to return toward the Greece, and in the 323 BCE at Iraq he died there on the way of return. Means he was tired, injured also, tired also, and ill. In that incident he died. Means from Greek he came toward the India in the 326 BC, and when he was returning toward the Greek in 323 BC, means after the 3 years on the means it took more than 3-4 years time for him to turn back there. So on the way toward the Greek at Iraq, at Babylon in Iraq, he passed away or he died. In the 323 BC he died. Means he did not reach up to his original country, Greek. He came from the Greek, he did not reach to his original country. On the way in middle only he died there. For example, if I say that someone came from Latur to Udgir, and after that when he was returning from Udgir to Latur, on the way when he was going to Latur, in middle Naligaon is there. So in Naligaon only he died there, not reached to Latur, like in this example we can tell them. So Babylon in Iraq he passed away. Alexander campaign led to an increase in the trade between India and Western world. So when Alexander he started his campaigns toward the India, that lead toward the proper good trade relationship between the India and European countries there. It lead toward the trading relationship between India and Western countries, Western European countries. From the Greek they came toward the India. So trading relationship, business started between the India and Western country there. The historians who accompanied Alexander introduced India. The historians who accompanied Alexander introduced India to the Western world through their writing. Along with the historians were there, number of the historians, those who accompanied with Alexander, those who came from Greece toward the India with Alexander, those were historians came from Greece toward the India. They wrote about Alexander's campaign, they wrote about Alexander's information in their writing, in their book. So the historians who accompanied Alexander, they introduced to the Alexander into the Western world through their writings, through their books. Greek sculpture influenced Indian art. Greek sculpture, whatever the Greek style of sculpture, painting is their style is there, that influenced the Indian art. Indians also they learned, they acquainted with Greek sculpture art, and they start to be make that type of paintings, architectures, building designs in our writing. So the Greek sculptures influenced the Indian art, giving rise to the Gandhara school of art. So there was a combination, fusion we can call Greek style and Indian style combinations, called as a Gandharva school of art started. Art school, painting, drawings, that school started there in India. It began to call as a Gandharva school of art. The Greek kings minted characteristics coins that. So those were the Greek kings, they minted, they published the different coins, currency. As we know that here Darius, Emperor Darius, he minted his coin as a Darius there. Like same way that coin they started there. On one side coin had a picture of the king who had minted the coin, and on another side a picture of Greek god there. So there is a special characteristic of that coin or the currency. From one side of that currency, name of the king who minted, who published, who started that coin, and from another side of the currency Greek gods image was there. The pictures of the Greek gods image was there on another side. Each and every currency has two sides, head and tail. So on the head side, for example, king, one who was a king at that time, who started that coin, that king's picture image there, and from another side, the Greek god's picture or image was there. So the name of the king was also written on the coin. Along with that, they wrote the name of the king. Who was that king? So that king's also name they wrote on the coin. Alexander's coins were of the same type. In this way, Emperor Alexander's coins also in the same way only. They were in the same types. Okay. So today we will stop here. When we will come tomorrow? Sorry. So later Indian kings also started minting the similar coins. The Indian kings also they started the similar type of coins, which were similar with the Greek kings. Alexander's coins there. Indians also started to mine the same coins like Greek coins. Whatever the Darics were there, like same way Indians also started to mine the coins there. So in this way we have completed the first point about the Greek Emperor Alexander's inventions. When we will come tomorrow, then we will see the next one about the Maurya's empire. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.